Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Myler, and welcome to our overview of Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2013. Thanks for joining us. So today we're going to get started off with a brief synopsis of 360 visibility in our service offerings for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with our organization. Then we'll get right into a high-level overview of what is Dynamics CRM. We'll highlight some of the themes that Microsoft's been focusing on around the latest release, including how the user experience has been reimagined. We'll touch on business processes and how they're used with CRM. We're going to cover business rules and some of the mobility and collaboration features. 360 Visibility has won several Profit 100 awards, including Top Female Entrepreneurs and also one of Canada's fastest growing companies in 2009 and 2010. We're also a Microsoft Gold Partner with competencies in Dynamics, Windows Server, and also a small and mid-market solution provider for Microsoft servers for IT infrastructure. We've also been long-standing partners with other vendors, including Cisco, HP, and Lenovo. So if you'd like to see any additional information, you can feel free to visit our website at www.360visibility.com. So we're just going to get right into just an overview of CRM. I'm not sure what your experience level is with CRM, but they've really done a great job in redesigning a lot of focuses for just to increase user adoption and the multiple platforms that they really support these days, including mobility and just different internet browsers, and also both on-prem and cloud-based solutions. So really, Microsoft's been doing a big push with mobility just to make sure that every device that your organization might leverage, including Windows phones, iPhones, iPads, or Android devices, they want you to be able to access that information. So this CRM 2013 has really done a great job in providing users with the information they need at their fingertips, regardless of which device they've used. And for those of you who might be new to Dynamics CRM, really the key areas that you might want to consider focusing on would be the sales module. There's also a service module and a marketing module. So these three components really are what drives organizations to bring CRM in-house. You might be using right now for to track, let's say, opportunities or service requests in an Excel spreadsheet, or just via email, and everybody's emailing each other just to see what the status is. CRM really centralizes a lot of that interaction with your customers. To be able to give you the reports that you need, the statistics, and really help just improve your overall business by closing more sales or improving your level of service to your customers, being able to pull up historic notes, and seeing how the customers are really interacting with your organization on your website even, or being able to market to those customers. They also give you both a cloud and an on-premise based option. So they really give you the flexibility if you don't want to invest in costly infrastructure. You can just pay going to get this file. No. Did you tell anybody anything? Okay, I didn't hear that.
I wrote it.
Okay. Or just to see if it works. Okay. All right, we're going to give this a try again. Oh, yeah. All right, we're going to give this a try again, and we'll see how everything works. If you're having any problems, just feel free to put a message up on the chat window. And once again, I apologize for the delay there. So just picking up where I left off here, Microsoft's been really focused on a few themes over this most recent release of 2013, and that's great news for everyone, whether you're a long-time user of Dynamics CRM or you're just looking to get started. Microsoft Dynamics CRM has been through its share of improvements, and they've made a lot of great additions in 2013. The four main areas that we'll be focusing on today include the user interface, and we'll also be covering business processes and what they look like in 2013, or what is a business process in relation to CRM, mobility across all the devices, and collaboration. So if you're familiar with 2011, the interface with this CRM, or with the previous CRM version, and maybe other CRM software that you may have used, often requires a lot of different windows for to be able to access the data that you need. You're pulling up a lot of information, and you might have 5 or 6 windows open in order to have all the info that you're looking for. They've really thought about that, and they found that adoption is really the most significant threat to a successful CRM deployment. So users just found the interface potentially too confusing, or wasn't as intuitive. So that's the Reimagined interface is really what CRM 2013 has changed, and they put a lot of focus into the redesign. They wanted to make sure that it was easy to use and that it was seamless across all the devices that a user might want to use to access the system, and that it really provided value for organizations. We'll be seeing exactly what that means, the different components, in these coming slides. They've really made everything simplified. They've changed the layout where all the information you need is in one screen. So there's no more flipping between applications and getting distracted. Sometimes you'll open one window, you get distracted, and then you have to open up another screen and you forget what you were working on. They've really changed that now with 2013. They've really given you a lot of ability to customize the system through business processes, so that you know exactly, it takes all the guesswork out of driving each individual in your organization towards a successful outcome. They've taken, we'll be covering business processes shortly, but really they've taken you through, if you found successful business processes in your organization, for instance, how you move customer through from an initial lead into closing the deal. And there's a lot of key areas you want to hone in on to say, we need this information at these different steps in the process, or I want to know where we're at in, let's say, our sales funnel, or where we're at, how many people, how many leads are missing, maybe just one piece of information before we're ready to move them into the next stage of the sales cycle. Business processes really hit home with that. And that's, I think, one of the most significant benefits that 2013 brings to the table. Is it makes it easy for people to follow. It's really a roadmap. So we'll cover that shortly. They've also changed the navigation model, where on the old system, you would see your, on the left-hand side, you would be working with a pane, which was always there, and it would take up screen space. You'd be able to access your customers, your sales, or your support cases on the left-hand side. They've transitioned now this, in keeping in line with later releases of Microsoft Office, into a ribbon bar. So now what you'll find is it's a streamlined pull-down ribbon bar that comes up at the top of your screen. It'll only show when there's somebody that, when you actually need to access that information. And they also give you this sort of a breadcrumb trail. So on this example, you can see that we've got the sales section, and it pulls down, and you'd be able to see everything, that all the entities that relate to the sales or accounts would have a pull down as well. So they've changed the design, and they've also made it touch friendly, which is great. So if you're working from a new touch screen, let's say with Windows 8, if anybody's ventured into that arena yet, you'd be able to utilize that touch screen on either tablet or Windows 8, other Windows 8 devices. So this gives you a bit of a breakdown on how you would get through and navigate different modules. And all I'm focusing on right now is just the really the navigation on how to get to the information. We're going to take a look at the forms in the next section here. So as I mentioned on the first screen, CRM includes three main categories, which is sales, your service, and your marketing. You'd be able to provide access to your sales team for just whichever module would be useful for them. And within all of those, they would drill into what's most relevant for that role. So if you're a salesperson, let's say they select sales on this first screen, it brings down all of the relevant categories or entities that they may want to access, including dashboards to see where they're at with their sales funnel, or how many people are at a certain part or a certain business process within the sales cycle. They'd be able to access what activities they need to work on, let's say calls they need to make for the day, or whatever activities are related to a specific opportunity. They'd be able to access all of their customer accounts, great for account managers, any sort of contacts or leads or opportunities that they'd be working on. So, and again, it's just dropping down from the main section there. Once you select, let's say, the accounts entity, what it will do is, as I'd mentioned, you have the breadcrumb trail at the top, so you can easily flip back and forth between the two drop-down menus. And now you can see the most recently viewed records. This is another change from CRM 2011, where you wouldn't necessarily see that the most recently used records. You just have to go and search for the record that you're looking for. This is really helpful because if you're dealing with just, let's say, some key opportunities, you'll likely find the information that you need right here. Then once you select the records, let's say somebody clicked on Northwind Traders here, the next thing that they would see is they'd be able to have a related records list. So this on the left or the right-hand side, you'd be able to click this down arrow and view the activities that are associated with that specific account. So let's say there's phone calls that need to be made, or they have multiple opportunities that they're working on, or maybe multiple support cases for your service team. They'd be able to pull up all the activities that are relating to this account. Any documents that are stored, let's say previous proposals or just any correspondence that might be relevant with this specific account. You can pull up here. It also integrates great with SharePoint, which we're not going to cover today, but you can basically have this configured where you can click a button and it'll create all of the folder structure that you need within SharePoint with only a few steps. And it's great. Microsoft really has done a great job with making itself work with itself. So, which isn't always the case, I find, but at least this one, they've done a great job with it. And also one other thing I wanted to point out that I don't have very many screenshots for, but is the integration with Outlook. So speaking of Microsoft working with Microsoft, you'd be able to access all of this information of CRM right within Outlook. So what we're seeing here is really the web-based GUI version. If you've used CRM 2011, the Outlook connection in 2013 looks exactly the same as it did in 2011, but you still are able to stay within Outlook and find all of that information that you're looking for as well. So we're only covering some of the new features of 2013 with the user interface. So this is really the structure of the form. When you finally get to the, let's say, the opportunity that you're looking for, it really gives you all that information in one pane of glass, including where they're at with the sales process. So we can see this opportunity here is currently in the qualify stage. We can see what it's about, what products they might be interested in, or what the case might be about. Gives you, I'm going to touch on this a little bit more as part of the business processes section, but it gives you all the information they need to find out at this point in time with this opportunity. All of the information is here in the summary pane. And these are all fully and easily customized to fit your organization. And that's really the key. Out of the box, when you first sign up for CRM 2013, it's very intuitive, and they've really included a lot of generic information and the forms that you find on the information. You'll see that it's pretty much ready to use right out of the box. You just have to import data, and it's a usable system that can fit with a lot of organizations. And I usually tell people to let the need drive the change. So keep things as simple as you can with the out-of-the-box environment, and only add, if you need to add a specific field in here let's say you want to, I'm not sure what you'd want to put in the sales section here. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but if you need to add a specific drop-down field, let's say on a product or product category that maybe they want to purchase, then you can add that in there, but only put that in if you absolutely need it. Simple is really the key to user adoption, and as I mentioned earlier, user adoption is the key factor that really makes or breaks the CRM implementation. So you want users to have the information they need, but don't make it overly complicated for them. Another introduction here to 2013 is this Yammer environment. It's really the Facebook for communicating within your organization. And there's a lot of great features with Yammer, but within CRM 2013, you can just make comments, and it's kind of like posting on a wall. If you're familiar with that, people can comment on that post. You can get those notifications in your email or on your Yammer client on your phone. So that's all integrated now with CRM 2013. Also, you can add stakeholders or any sales team members. This is pretty much the out-of-the-box form structure. If you find that there's information you need to add quickly and you're in a specific screen like the one we were in earlier, let's say somebody calls in and all of a sudden they want to, and you need to create a new lead, you can easily click on the create button and it'll bring up the key forms that you may want to fill out. And that information will just pop up on top and it'll create that new record for you. So you don't have to keep switching back and forth. It lets you do it all in one place. One other thing to point out here is the different fields that are in place. So let's take first name and last name. So the blue plus is a recommended field, and the red asterisks is the required. So you would not be able to save this form without having all of the required information filled in. And this is easily customized just by opening up. Let's say you wanted to make sure every lead before it can be actually entered as a lead has an email address, because maybe a lead with a last name isn't relevant for you or beneficial. You can edit this form without any programming experience and check a box to say this is a required field, and it'll automatically make that change for you. So usually within an organization, there'll be a power user who is the one who's eager to move off of, let's say, Excel tracking or whatever systems they've been using in the past to track all this information. And that user will start really being able to learn how to customize forms easily and just start shaping the CRM system to fit with their business is one option. And those are all available. Usually the way we would do it is we provide training videos for that one or two power users within your organization. So you'd be able to see within a 3-minute video how to make something a required field, for instance. So Microsoft's released a lot of great videos on how to pretty much do this yourself. Although we're there to fill in the gaps if you need. The old ribbon bar has been replaced again with, I guess the old command bar has been replaced with this new ribbon bar. Gives you the ability to be able to pull down information. So any specific, if you have a specific account that you want to add to a marketing list or you want to see other options, these are all fully customized as well. You can delete, but everything you can do with this record is available for you on that top bar. Now we're just going to touch on business processes, getting a bit into the nitty-gritty of CRM. If your organization's come up with a specific, let's say you're an A-type personality like me, I like having everything well organized. I want to make sure people follow a certain process for CRM, for sorry. So let's say, sorry, just give me 1 second here. There we go. So let's say you're an A-type personality, you want everything organized and you want to be able to make sure certain processes are followed. You really have the ability to do that within 2013. You can say, you can get right down to, these are the scripts that I want you to follow depending on the products that you're looking at. So as soon as you select, let's say I'm looking at this specific area, these are the qualifying questions you need to go through. So it's a step-by-step, and as you find out that information, you're filling it out in the business processes, and it really tells you where you're at with the sales cycle or with the support call that you're working on. So you can track all of that within the top link the top bar, which I'm going to cover for you in a moment. You can have different process flows. So depending on what you're working on, this is just to give you a high-level summary. You can have it for cross-selling. Let's say you've got a specific an existing account, and now you want to start selling in a different product to that account. You can establish whatever business processes that you'd like. The ones that come out of the box are, let's say, a lead to opportunity. What information do you need to have before it's converted into an opportunity? And then when you're in the opportunity, what are the different sort of subcategories that you would need to bring in or information that you need to find out, the proposals that you're viewing, creating, the team that you have to discuss it with, the sign off from the manager to say we're great to deliver this proposal, and just the follow-up process, I guess, that would go along with that. So all these are just check boxes, which you can see on the left side here. As you complete that information, those green check marks are done. And then you can move the form here on the right to the next stage. So once everything's completed, click next stage, and now you're at the next section, and the salespeople know exactly what they need to do. Here's a sample of the process, which you can add or remove specific components, or you can check off whether it's required or not. So as part of the close, in order to actually close the deal, we'll look at these two options. You just have to present the final proposal. Once that's completed, you would check the box in that part of the process. And then after that, you can send a thank you note for meeting, and you can move that into the next stage if you'd like. So it's pretty straightforward, just to keep everybody on the same page as far as where they're at within the sales motion, or if you're in customer service, looking at the service motion. Business rules are, again, another lower level item, which I just wanted to touch on. It just gives you the ability to say, for instance, if you click on one particular field and you enter a certain value, that you can change, you can make a screen pop show up to say, don't forget to do this, or you can have another box automatically check. So these are all very simple rules, and this is the interface as to how you would, how those rules would look. No programming required again. It just enables power users to be able to make sure that it's in line with your organization's needs. And this is an example of how it looks to program something. So very easy interface. So getting into mobility, a lot of people are getting away from laptops and desktops, if anybody's still using desktops, especially your sales team. So they want to be able to access that information. Microsoft has thought about that, and it's included as part of your license. All of these features and functionality, they support Windows 8 tablets and iPads. They also have, that's from a tablet standpoint, those are the two major operating systems, and they have an actual app that you can download and install to be able to have retrieve that information. Also, Windows phones, iPhones, Androids, all accessible. There's and as I mentioned, it's included as part of your license for no additional cost. So when you purchase a license, you just get everything without the need to add specific modules later on. So how would that look? Maybe if a salesperson's out, let's say at a prospect, and they're meeting with somebody, they would be able to take notes right here on their tablet, right into CRM. They'd be able to create activities. Let's say there's a follow-up meeting that's coming. They'd be able to add that meeting into the opportunity. they find out there's another key contact that really they should have that information in CRM. They can take that business card afterwards, go out to the car, enter in that contact information. So everything's updated on the fly. It's a great tool to be able to, again, centralize all that information without having a business card there and an email there. It's all in one place for you. The CRM app, as I mentioned, is downloadable for tablets. You'd be able to, from there, access all of that information, whether it's opportunities, contacts, accounts. You'd be able to enter in that sales motion, so the business processes when they accomplish specific items within that sales process. They can view their dashboard information to be able to see how well things are doing, or let's say the top list of opportunities that they're working on, or their activities for the day. All of that is accessible right from the tablet. It's also personalized, gives them access to their contacts, their accounts, all of that information that relates to them. It's not just organization-wide. So they'd be able to really leverage this, and it makes it easy and intuitive. Again, Microsoft's focus on user adoption is really key to driving success with CRM. So they've tried to make this as easy as they can for maybe non-technical types. Gives you all the information. Sometimes I've been out on the road and forget an address for a meeting that I'm going to and haven't been able to pull it up. So I take out my iPhone, or maybe I should say Windows phone, even though I'd be lying, but that's what Microsoft likes us to say. So pull out my iPhone and I'm able to actually retrieve the account information real time. If they've moved, I've got that information up to date, or if I need to call somebody to say that I'm late for a meeting and I didn't enter their contact information into maybe my calendar appointment, I can find their contact details right from my mobile device, make that call, and potentially save an opportunity instead of looking less professional and showing up late without a reason. So enabling communication is what CRM is all about. It gives you sales analysis. So if you like charts like myself, again, type A personality, I want to see where I'm at with everything. Salespeople can see where they're at with the funnel. You can set goals as well. So if there's a specific target that they need to reach for the month, they'd be able to pull up that where they're at on these dashboards with specific goals and targets for the month or for the quarter, how it's relating to other people, to keep that competitive, positive spirit up within the workplace. And also just track from a management standpoint to see how people are doing after, month one, maybe with a quarterly target. Sales manager would be able to say, we're getting short, and we can make those short on our goal, and we can make decisions based on how things have been progressing, where the forecast is at. So there's a lot of great information that's available in this by centralizing this. A lot of people mention with cloud, what happens when I lose my internet connection? Well, with Outlook, you're able to have a full download of your the information that you need available locally as well as in the cloud. So when the internet comes back, it'll synchronize between your laptop and the cloud system. So you can still work, just like with email. If you lose connection with your Exchange server, let's say, your email can still be opened. You can send messages. They're sitting in your outbox, but once you reestablish a connection, let's say you get off the plane, now you've got internet access again, it'll actually synchronize everything. So all those messages will be able to go out. Same thing with CRM. If you're using CRM online or on-prem, gives you offline access for specific records, shows you on the bottom with a timestamp when this was last updated so that people know the date that it was modified. So again, internet is optional, not a requirement. And on the phones, like I mentioned, all touch optimized. It's difficult. If anybody tried using the CRM 2011 on an old phone or a small display, it was next to impossible just because I don't think anybody's fingers are small enough to work, but they've touch optimized everything to be able to make it easy whether you're using a phone or a tablet. And they've made it available across multiple platforms with the one license. So there's no extra licensing required for some sort of mobile module. It's all included out of the box, whether you're on a demo or on the full version, a demo or the paid subscription, you have access to these, to all of this technology. And last but not least, the collaboration feature. They've enabled through Yammer, it's their, like I said, the Facebook for Microsoft. They've integrated that with CRM. So you would be able to bring up and have conversations with people. I'm going to touch on Office 365 for one slide in about 2 minutes, and I'll show you how it integrates for communication. Not sure if you're using Office 365 or if you're familiar with it, but it's a cloud-based technology, and it sits in line with this, let's say, the CRM online option. They're very tightly integrated, so we'll get into some of the collaboration and what's available with that. So you can follow with the collaboration, you can follow an opportunity so that when people are chatting, you'll be informed every time there's updates to that opportunity. Just like if you're following something, if you make a note on Facebook on somebody's picture and somebody else makes a note on that picture, you'd be able to get a notification saying that, that there's somebody else made a comment. And it's good to know. So they've really brought that into the organization for opportunities, for support cases. Maybe a support manager wants to monitor all those types of case interactions. They'd be able to have that all available through Yammer. I'm really just opening your mind to the possibilities of what CRM is all about, how it can potentially help with your organization. So usually it's the conversation starter. And if you say, you know, tell me more about this or tell me more about that, really we've walked organizations through the process from inception all the way through to final deployment and user adoption. So we're familiar with a lot of the whole process from beginning to end. And we've implemented it for small organizations that are 5 users where they track everything on Excel, all their contacts are still in Outlook, and they're just looking to centralize into one database for a low monthly cost, all the way up to larger organizations that have integration with their financial system and with inventory. So we really have a great team here that can help all the way through. From a marketing standpoint, so this is a Forrester's study. I'm lying a bit, so you'll notice that the study was done in May 2011, they couldn't have really looked into implementing CRM 2013 and 2011, but I switched the numbers there. It's still pretty relevant, I'm sure, these days, being able to find the ROI and the cost savings that's available through implementing a CRM system. With marketing, with sales, with service, with IT, especially if you're going into the cloud, there is a lot of payback in just lost time and productivity. So efficiencies can be gained by adopting a CRM system for your organization. And last but not least, Office 365. CRM Online is part of the Office 365 or integrated closely with the Office 365 suite. If you're using email let's say you've got an email server in your organization, or you're sharing files inside your organization, even communication, Office 365 gives you the ability to be able to move one or all systems to the cloud. In the past, you would have had to purchase a new piece of hardware. You'd have to purchase costly licenses. You'd have to install the software. You'd have to configure it. And what Microsoft and a lot of other organizations are doing with the cloud is they're enabling you to just click sign up now, and then you have all of that is done automatically for you in the background. So you can take a 30-day trial, for instance, and have a fully functional CRM system. You can import data, you can take a look at the forms, and you can connect it to your mobile phone, you can connect it to Outlook, see what it's like and see if it's a good fit for you. And that doesn't cost you anything, and there's no time to be able to set that all up. Office 365 takes it one step further by also enabling you to do the same thing with your email. Instead of having to pay for server upgrades or new licenses every 4 or 5 years, your IT department comes to you and says, listen, we need to upgrade our servers. They're getting old, or we're running out of disk space. So start deleting. You got to delete stuff out of your inbox. Microsoft says you shouldn't worry about any of that stuff. Get rid of it, put it all in the cloud, and we'll manage it for you. And it also takes care of your business continuity. So if there's a fire or let's say an ice storm with a big power outage, if you guys are in the GTA, then maybe you were affected. But the people that were in the cloud, including ourselves with CRM and Exchange and SharePoint, we didn't actually go down. So everybody who had internet access, our email was still flowing well. And so a lot of people are really taking a serious look at the benefits of going online. There's pros and cons to both, and really I can help, or 360 Visibility can help you navigate those waters to make a choice that fits well with your organization. So that wraps us up, and I just want to thank you again, once again, for your time. My name is Jason Myler. You can reach me. You've got my email address there if you'd like to reach out. We'll also be just following up with a quick phone call at some point in the near future to be able to see if you had any questions or what you thought of the session. So you can reach us through either channel. And sorry once again for the technical problems that we had earlier, but I hope you found this session informative and beneficial. And thank you once again for your time.